Brand new time reductions for multiple town hall levels, loot changes that will get you an insane amount of loot, new shield and revenge modes, as well as balance changes. By the end of this video, you're going to know everything there is to know about all of these topics. But I'm not just going to be going over the basic information, I'm going to be showing you guys some of the charts that I've made with all of this info after spending hours with the numbers and having early access in the dev build. And I hope that by the end of this video, you guys are able to learn not only about the new information, but adjust your upgrade and personal progression strategy. The first thing that I want to go over is the time reductions, and if you guys watched the video that I made a few weeks ago about those, then you already know that we did expect these ahead of time. However, I wasn't really expecting them to come in the way they did. Now I basically got a sheet with all this information and I had to spend hours condensing this information in a way that is easily digestible. To start off, we have this chart right here, which basically shows us the upgrade times in each one of these categories before the new update. Big shout out to Clash Ninja for always having that website available that shows us how long it's going to take to max a specific town hall. A lot of this info was coming from there. Now the time reductions that we are getting are applying to multiple areas, and this includes building time reduction, hero upgrade time reduction, lab time reduction, and pet house time reductions. Now instead of going through each one and saying, okay, you know, this town hall is getting these time reductions and that town hall is getting those time reductions, I thought I'd just make an easy chart for you guys to be able to understand the info. Here is the chart that details the total build time reduction in days, and this is not taking into account the 5 builders. As you guys can see, we have a significant amount of time reductions when it comes to all of these categories. For the build time, we have about 300 days reduced. For the hero upgrade time, we have about 350 days reduced. However, for the lab time, we only have 95 days reduced, and for the pet house, a measly 2 days. Now the next step is to obviously take into account the fact that we'll have 5 builders not only for the builder time upgrades, but also the hero time upgrades. That brings us to this chart right here, which is basically the same thing as that first chart that I showed you. However, this is after those time reductions that we're getting for this update are applied. Now, the reason I'm showing you all of these different charts is so that you guys can screenshot it and have it for yourself if you really wanted to. However, I think the best way to visualize the effect of the time reductions is this chart right here. This is the percentage reduction that we get across each one of these categories at different town hall levels. And there's also this chart right here which highlights the largest reduction in each one of these categories. What you guys can see is that at Town Hall 12, Town Hall 13, and Town Hall 14, we get some pretty decent time reductions across the board. Now there's two main things that I think is really important to highlight with these time reductions, and I'll tell you why as well. The first one is that among all of these different categories that we have for different time reductions, the one that's the biggest is the one for heroes. And among the 5 heroes that we have in game right now, the one that is receiving the largest time reduction is the Royal Champion. Now this is rather significant because if the Royal Champion, which already has the least amount of time to get to those 8-day upgrades, is getting even shorter, that means that we can spend more time upgrading the Royal Champion early and get good value out of our book of heroes. Also, as you guys will see in tomorrow's sneak peek, heroes are no joke. I think they're really important moving forward, especially with the way that ranked leagues are going to work. And that means that we're gonna have to reconsider the way that we're actually thinking about heroes and upgrading heroes. The second important thing to note is that the bottom row in all of these charts barely has any difference, and that means that at Town Hall 17 we're barely getting any time reductions. Now if you guys watched my video predicting time reductions, I was pretty sure that we are going to get some pretty severe time reductions at Town Hall 17, and maybe we didn't get those time reductions this time around because those time reductions will come as Town Hall 18 comes out, but it just makes sense that we're gonna get Town Hall 17 time reductions. I mean, just look at this chart and the difference between the building upgrades at Town Hall 16, which is 97 days, and the building upgrades at Town Hall 17, which is 267 days. That is a really big difference. Even the lab isn't this bad, as Town Hall 16 has 339 hours and Town Hall 17 has 453 hours. So we're not getting any Town Hall 17 reductions yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did get them sometime in the near future. And for everybody else that's lower than Town Hall 17, well, you guys can rejoice because you're gonna get some pretty nice time reductions, and then on top of that, you're gonna get a lot shorter hero upgrades. Moving on, let's go ahead and discuss the economy changes that we're going to be getting and the fact that you can get even more loot now. Now, you guys know from the sneak peek that we had over a month ago that we are going to get split into ranked mode and battle mode when it comes to multiplayer. Now, I'm going to discuss the specifics in tomorrow's sneak peek, but today I want to give you an idea of the economy and the loot changes that we're getting. For those of you that don't already know, there's already a concept in the game where if you attack a town hall level below you, you're actually going to be losing some of the loot that you can get. This loot penalty can be summarized in this chart right here, where you can see how your loot changes based on the town hall level of your opponent. However, what's new with this update is that you're actually going to get a loot bonus if you attack a town hall level that is above you. Now, how much loot are we talking? It's actually quite a bit of loot. This chart right here summarizes the loot bonus that you're going to get, and it goes anywhere between 120 to 200% bonus loot. Now look, I don't have fully confirmed numbers on this, but if you're going to be getting 200% bonus loot, we could be talking about 5 to 6 million loot. But it is something that is going to be very exciting for anybody who does end up having one of these bases. It brings to mind like the memes, you know, that we have of like finding like the 1 million bases back in the day, and all of a sudden you're really serious trying to play. It's just a good time. And of course, there's a ton of more details, like literally so many more details when it comes to the new battle mode and the ranked mode. But I'm going to be talking about this so much tomorrow that you guys are going to be absolutely tired of the analysis. I guarantee it, but you guys can look forward to that in tomorrow's sneak peek. Now, there is some new information when it comes to shield and revenge mode changes, and I'm going to break them down here. As you guys know, we had the old system of having a shield and a village guard, and honestly, it just didn't work out too well anymore, so they are going to get rid of it. Instead, you're going to have something called a magic shield from now on. A magic shield is going to be triggered when a defender loses 30% of the total loot in the base, or the attacker deploys at least 1/3 of their entire army. Now, the magic shield is going to last 8 hours no matter what league you're in or what town hall level you're at. You will always have an 8-hour magic shield. Now, during that time, your base can still get attacked. However, it's going to be a shadow attack, meaning that it's not going to be taking away from your actual loot. Only when you don't have a magic shield will you actually lose loot from your base. Now, the attackers are still going to be able to get loot, and you're going to be able to attack freely. The loot just kind of comes out of nowhere. Now, this is actually really good because this means that you're only going to be losing loot every 8 hours or so, and you're not going to be constantly hit and losing loot all night. There is another thing with magic shields though, and it's the fact that you can actually purchase them. Magic shields can be purchased in the shop for gems, and they have a little bit of cooldown when you do purchase them. Now, this is a really cool feature and everything, but I don't think this comes into the realm of the top 5 ways to spend your gems or anything like that, so not as big of a priority. For the players in Legend League, you're gonna have the option to purchase a legend shield, which is different than a magic shield. A legend shield is going to protect you from the Legend League attacks that day, which means that you're not going to take any defenses, but you also don't get to attack. Effectively, by getting a legend shield, you're getting a day to chill and just to take a break, and honestly, a wonderful quality of life feature. I just hope that nobody uses this and abuses it in a way to not take defenses or have to attack on like the last day of Legends or something like that. Overall, I think these changes are great. It's a really well thought out feature that is going to benefit almost all players who are trying to either find a ton of bases or survive in Legends. But now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about one of my favorite changes, and that's the fact that they made revenge great again. Now, revenge has been practically a meme in the last few years because every time you hit revenge on an account, you basically can never find someone to hit. However, with the new system, you can always do your revenge attacks even if your opponent has a magic shield. Now, you can do this as long as you do your revenge attack within 12 hours of taking the initial attack from your opponent. Now, you can't do a revenge attack on every attack. You can only do it if somebody triggered a magic shield on your base, so you'll probably get an opportunity once every 8 hours or so. But the question becomes, right, why would you go through the trouble to do a revenge attack if you can just have endless battles anyways? Well, the revenge attacks are going to be against shadow or mirror bases, so they're not actual bases of the player, and this is what allows them to always be available. But the interesting thing about this is that let's say that a player attacked you and took 2 million loot, and then when when you're trying to revenge attack them, you only get 1 million loot. The system will actually always top off the loot and add that 1 million to the base evenly so that you can actually break even on your revenge attacks. I think this is actually a pretty cool mechanic, and it allows us to hit back and forth without anybody actually losing resources. Now practically what this means is that say you took an attack and you lost a ton of loot, you can simply just revenge your opponent, get all your loot back, and if you lost like a lot of loot, this will actually save you a bit of time. It also means that looting is probably going to be the easiest that it's ever been, and honestly I'm here for it because let me tell you, I'm like almost done with all my Town Hall 17 upgrades. I think by the time Town Hall 18 comes around, I'll be done. But these walls, man, these walls are not getting done. So me personally as a player, I'm loving this change, and I'm sure that most of you will as well. Now the last thing that I do want to do is I want to confirm a few balance changes. The previously mentioned Town Hall weapon level removal for Town Hall 12, 13, 14, and 15, as well as the Spring Trap rework are going to come with this update on Monday. Also, Diggy is getting a slight buff because it's also going to be able to stun enemy heroes and clan castle troops if it attacks them. The Heroic Torch is now going to apply to the Warden so that the Warden can move faster through the base. Ain't nobody gonna use the Heroic Torch though, man, let's be real, okay? And a single Firemite will no longer kill a bunch of healers. And guys, I'm so glad they made this change. This is so OP, so I'm glad that this is gonna get reworked. Now hopefully you guys are really excited with all this information and the fact that we're gonna get new ranked leagues tomorrow. But if you guys want to see how I thought the new ranked leagues would affect strategic rushers even before we get these new details, you can start that conversation right here where I break down all of my thoughts and whether or not I thought ranked leagues would kill rushing.